Welcome back, all 100 of you glorious subscribers and other great runners out there. I'm Dustin Hall, your everyday mid-pack ultra runner. And today, we're going to be talking about running goals. I set my first real running goal in 2019 at the age of 33. This came after a checkup with my doctor, who told me that I had a really bad case of stage 2 hypertension and all of the signs that I was going to end up having a heart attack sooner than later. This news was pretty devastating, as my father had quadruple bypass surgery at the age of 49, and two of his three brothers also had heart surgery in their 40s. And I was getting it when I was just 33 with a wife and an infant child. So this news was absolutely devastating for me. I might be taken from their lives. And that's when I really started to research all of the heart benefits of running. So at that point, I committed, not just for myself, but for my family, to drop 15 pounds and run my first marathon. And I ran the first marathon after running regularly for just 5 months. But during that time, I also fell in love with running, and especially trail running. So from there, after just running for 7 months consistently, I ran my first 50-mile ultra marathon and was absolutely hooked with the experience and the benefits of it. So before I talk about my goals and races for the year, let's talk about some of the things that you want to include when setting your own goals. First, a goal should be something that you really want, not that someone else wants for you. My doctor wanted me to get healthy and not to have a heart attack and die. Well, that was great, but until I committed for myself and my family, it just wasn't going to happen. The second big thing is, don't be afraid to set a goal that you might fail at. It's okay if you don't get it the first time. That goal is still going to be able to motivate you, inspire you, and if you fail this time, you're still going to be a lot better off than where you were previously. Third big thing, the goal does need to be very specific and measurable. Again, my goal was to lose 15 pounds and run a marathon in 5 months. And kind of 4 with that is that you need to share your goals. There's a lot of studies out there that I will not bore you with. It says if you are sharing your goals, if you write them down, that you're going to be more likely to achieve them. So right now, I would challenge all of you, go down in the comments. Let me know what your running goals are for this year. I'd love to hear them and hear about your progress. And while you're doing that, little shameless plug, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, as it means the world to me. So let's talk about my running goals for the year. First is that I want to run 4 ultra marathons this year. With having 2 kids, one still an infant, time is really pressed, but I want to make sure that I do that. And I'm going to share those 4 with you here in a minute. But I do want my A race to be a major event. My other big goal for the year is that I want to achieve a PR in the 50 mile by 40 minutes. So I want to blow my old personal best completely out of the water. Some of the key things that I'm going to be focusing on that are also measurable that will help me meet those goals. The first big one would be, I just want to run happy. Because if you're not happy and you're miserable getting out there, I don't care how hard you are, it's going to become a grind and you're not going to continue after it. That one's pretty easy to measure every day of, am I enjoying this? The second big goal is I want to lose another 15 pounds by my A race this year. And that's because my A race has a lot of mandatory equipment and gear that I'm going to have to carry. So I want to come in lighter and healthier. And that's also going to help with my speed and that PR as well. The third big thing would be that I want to work with a running coach. And I want a coach that has a great love for running and enjoying it, so that way the relationship does not become toxic. As I've played sports all the way to the collegiate level, I know how much a toxic coach can just ruin that for you. The fourth thing, I want to do complete training this year. Years past, I've put in the miles over and over again, but I was terrible at the strength training, at the stretching, at the recovery, all of those core fundamental things that I need to be doing. I just wasn't doing that. So I'm going to be tracking to make sure I'm doing more and more of that to become a complete athlete. The next big thing, and this one's going to probably be my hardest one to know if I complete it or not, but I do want to significantly increase the number of miles ran this year versus last year. This is harder because I didn't track everything. I went out for fun runs, I maybe hit a treadmill, and just didn't record them. So I'm going to be more meticulous in how I record how long I ran for, when it was, how I felt, how much vertical gain that was in that, so I can see my progress. And along with increasing the mileage, I want to significantly increase the amount of vertical gain that I'm running for the year, as I feel that being in the Midwest, that's probably one of, if not my weakest points in my running. And last, but certainly not least, I want to improve my speed. As a young kid, I was fast. I ran track. I have proof that I was fast. But along the way, I got old, I got slow, and I got fat. And I want to correct that and get some speed back out there, which goes back to one of the primary goals of the PR. So let's talk about my 4 races for the year. My first race is in May, and that's the Thunder Bunny 50K. The Thunder Bunny 50K shows off some great trails in southeastern Ohio, close where I grew up. It showcases the great Appalachian foothills that Athens is known for. It does boast a small 3,500 feet of elevation, but 95% of it is single track. So it's going to be a very runnable race, but it's going to be very early in my season as I'm still building up mileage. My second race of the year will be the Burning River 50 miler. This race is near and dear to my heart, as this was the first ultra that I ran just 7 months into my running journey. Over the 50 miles, you get to see some very historic areas, some beautiful areas. The Cuyahoga National Forest that has a very deep history, all the way down to, yes, the Cuyahoga River actually did catch fire because it was that polluted at one point. My third race of the year, and this is my A race. This is the one that all of the training is pushing towards, and it is a UTMB World Series event. While unfortunately I am not going to Chamonix in September, I'm going to be going to Switzerland for the inaugural year for the Wildstrubel 106K run. This pinnacle race will cover 106 kilometers around the Wildstrubel Massive, and it will have close to 19,000 feet of positive elevation gain. Just completely massive. And the race goes across a glacier, 2 crantons, 2 linguistic regions, and 5 internationally renowned destinations. So that's why it's going to be my A race for this year. I expect it to be probably the biggest and hardest race that I may ever run, and I'm super excited about it. My fourth race, and this one is going to be continuing to push myself, and that's the Indiana Trail 100 miler. The reason this race is in the schedule is actually because it was a deferral from COVID. It has been that long. I'm not sure coming off the 106K in Switzerland that I'm going to be ready 4 weeks later. But if I don't get out there and push myself, I'll never know. So those are my goals, my races for the year. I would love to hear what you're doing. And I would love to hear your goals and races for the year, regardless if you feel that they're very small or large, they're important. And I want you to just keep lacing up and running. Thank you.